Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are live once again. This is Empire State of Baseball on September 15th of the year 2025. This is episode number 140 of Empire State of Baseball, airing on Instagram, X, YouTube, and powered by StreamYard. Well, we're officially halfway through September now, September 15th. Officially 2 weeks of regular season baseball left. The playoffs start just over 2 weeks of today. So 2 weeks from today will be kind of that in between right before the wild card series gets underway. So pretty much every team in baseball at this point, 12 or 13 games left, roughly, depending on how the schedule shapes up. Pretty different story for both teams right now. Yankees coming out of the quote unquote gauntlet the last couple of weeks, came out of it pretty well too. The Metropolitans almost didn't win a game since we last did this show. So tale of two teams. But right now, if the season ended today, both teams would be playoff teams. But we'll get more on that a little later tonight. Joe, how are you feeling on this Monday evening?
I am I'm okay. I'm okay. My sports weekend left a little bit to be desired. The Mets somehow salvaged the weekend yesterday with the Pete Alonso walk-off. But you know, as far as sports are concerned, I'm starting to get to a point where I'm looking forward to hockey season, and that's a dangerous time.
Lord, we're gonna get into more Mets and Yankees stuff. But there was a baseball event that was happening this past weekend at Yankee Stadium, and I know we're a Major League Baseball show, but listen, there was some fun baseball happening at in the Bronx, Joe. Are you a Savannah Banana fan? I think it was.
Listen, I wouldn't watch the Savannah Bananas if they were playing in my backyard. It's not baseball. The Harlem Globetrotter stuff. Why people watch it, I have no idea. If I wanted to go to a circus, I'd go to see Barnum and Bailey's when they arrive. Anybody can sell out a couple of games when they're a one-trick pony. I can't. It's not baseball. It's not baseball.
It's baseball.
It's banana ball. It's not baseball. It's banana ball.
It's a circus, but to me, it's like I don't get the point of it. You want to say it's competitive?
It's entertaining.
There's more teams in the league. There's more competitive softball leagues.
It's entertainment.
Yeah, we're bringing casuals to the game of baseball.
But it's not baseball. It's a show. It's not the show. You know what I mean? Like I don't understand the appeal of it. I don't. I can't see how somebody. And the worst of all now, the tickets are insane because they sell out by some miracle. The tickets are insane. I know why little kids like it. But who would pay a couple $100 to go see this crap?
You want
who cares?
If you want to take your kids.
Yeah. Joe, would you take Teddy to a Savannah Bananas game if Teddy wanted to go?
No, he's taking over to a Met game.
I'll tell you what, with the way the Mets have been playing, it's like I'm watching the Savannah Bananas every night with them.
Joe, you're allowed to go.
Games.
I gotta say, the weirdest baseball section of baseball Twitter, which I now understand that Joe is in, is the people that hate the Savannah Bananas. Like, no one is claiming that they are coming for Major League Baseball. They do their own thing. Yes, it is Harlem Globetrotters.
No, they do.
Kids really like it. It seems fun. I'm sure if you went, you'd have a blast there. It's entertainment. It doesn't have to. Everything doesn't have to be as serious. I think it's a cool thing that they do.
I'm sorry, I can't deal with the shake, throw a pitch. Shake, throw a pitch. I can't deal with that. Throw the goddamn ball over the plate and play baseball. Play baseball.
He doesn't have any rhythm.
I don't need a dance recital in the middle of my baseball game. I don't. Why would you go see that?
Hey, chat, while you're following in, by the way, let's circulate the link around, get this in while we're entering the stretch run of the Major League Baseball season. But hey, chat, if you like Savannah Banana baseball, spot us the banana emoji in the chat. And let's see how many bananas we get in the chat right now out of the group. And before we get to the rest of our show, let's take a look at the chat here. Pars, if anyone is going to survive this stretch run, it's us, because ESB is going to keep us going. Shout out to Pars first in the chat. Jacob Petruzzi, this rant from the Mets side of the house is going to be legendary. Jack Esposito, let's go. Monday Night Fun. Susan with a repost of the stream. Really do appreciate that. Jordan Tyler is here in the building. We have Christy Evis, ESB's own Christy Evis, and Hector. Hector is here as well. I don't even know if we can spot. Oh, there we go. We got a banana. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate that. Gorilla will appreciate that too. Let's go, Savannah Bananas. I love it. All right. Let's get the show underway. We start things off with the Roback Rundown, brought to you by Roback. Tom, take it away.
Yeah, I am happy to do that. I wish there was a Savannah Bananas Roback option. Not currently, maybe in the future. Do I know anything? No, maybe I'm just hoping for it. Roback.com. Listen, if you guys have been listening to us, you know my spiel at this point. I got the poll on right now. Extremely comfortable moving into the fall. So some long sleeves, some hoodies, some Q-zips, some joggers are going to be coming out. And then, I keep talking about that college collection as well. A lot of good college football games going on. If you want to rep your school, there's a ton of different options there. Also, a bunch of new USA fall things coming up. Ryder Cup in a couple weeks. If you're looking for some USA hoodies and things like that, some sweatshirts, head over to Roback.com. Use promo code TWAFL15. Get yourself 15% off your order.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. If I was a true college sports fan, I would be all over that college collection. They have some really cool ones. I just went to a D3 school that barely had they didn't have a football team. They had D3 baseball, soccer, a few other things. But if I went to one of those big schools, D1, I would be all over those Roback polos. I absolutely love them. But I also love the show, and we got a lot to talk about tonight. The Empire Express, talking about the latest and greatest of the New York Mets and the New York Yankees. Again, two teams in slightly different directions over the last week. We'll then go to Book It, see what our good friend, the Chooch Book It, has in store for us today as the game of the week. The triple play segment, that'll be our game for tonight. So go ahead and see who gets some more points. It's in the crunch time, so we gotta try and make some moves now. It's now or never for some of us trailing behind. And then defining moment. I made a mistake. Defining moment is the game segment. Triple play, we'll be talking a little bit about playoff baseball. And again, with the last 2 week stretch here, we got to see which teams are hoping to make it, which teams might fall out. More to come when we get to the triple play segment. But we'll start with the Empire Express. And again, I can start with the Mets because it's not pretty. It is not pretty. I was at the game on Saturday at Citi Field, and in prototypical fashion, the Mets found a new way to lose. Because since we last did the show at that point in time, the Mets did not win a game since the last show. They eventually did win yesterday's game, thankfully. But the Mets had a nice 7-game losing streak going into yesterday's game that they finally won. When I went to the game on Saturday, you had it set up exactly how you wanted to.
Yep.
You had a 2-0 lead into the 8th inning with your best two relievers, Tyler Rogers and Edwin Diaz. And what happens? The 8th inning starts, 1-2 pitch, catcher's interference, batter take your base. Sure enough, the inning continues. You had 2 outs, you get a couple of hits, and all of a sudden, bottom of the order too, doing a lot of the damage, as per usual, you find yourself in a 2-2 game. 9th inning comes around. You got your closer. Edwin Diaz actually came in the 8th inning, got the last out. You go to the 9th. How does it start? Line drive, Francisco Lindor. Granted, it was a high one. He had to jump for it off the top of the glove. That's about the 10th time this season I've seen a ball go off the webbing of Francisco Lindor. If it wasn't for Anthony Volpe, Lindor would be having a bad defensive season. Volpe kind of is having a legendarily bad season, but don't discount Lindor. He's having a bad defensive year too. And that opened the floodgates again. All of a sudden, sure enough, that run comes in to score. The Mets go down feebly. Actually, they had 2 guys on, but then Nimmo strikes out with a fastball down the middle. It's just a shame. And again, you look earlier in the week, they found a different way to lose each time. They go against the Phillies. McLean absolutely lights out. Gives you 6 one-run ball innings. They never give up a run in the bullpen. They give up 1 run to the Phillies against Aaron Nola with a 6.5 ERA. Shut out the New York Mets. He gave up 6 runs the start before. He gave up 6 runs. His last start, right? He was sandwiched in. He had a 6-run outing for Nola, then a shutout against the Mets, and then a 6-run outing after it. Mets always find a different way to lose, whether it's not getting offense. When you finally get starting pitching, you're not getting offense. When you get both, you don't get the bullpen. And they're always finding a way to lose. And all of a sudden here, we got not 1, not 2, we got 3 teams within 2.5 games of us in the wild card. I mean, Joe, it's absolutely disgusting how this team, I'm not even asking to go 8-2 in a 10-game stretch. If this team could have just won 2 games, win the Saturday game, win the Monday McLean game, yeah, granted, it would have been a losing week, a 3-4 week, but we'd be talking about 3.5, in reality 4.5, because they have the tiebreaker versus the Giants.
The Saturday game is the big game, right? Because, all right, you get swept by Philly. Philly owed you 1 because you've owned Philly forever. Not ideal, but the division was a long shot to begin with. You come into Friday, you lose to DeGrom. Tong didn't have it. That I can accept that loss. What I can't accept. But if you won Saturday and then you won yesterday, you would come out of this week and be like, okay, we didn't have a great week, but we beat a hot Rangers team 2 out of 3, and the lead would be 2.5 on the Giants. You would feel a little bit better. You would feel reasonable that, okay, the Mets had a bad series against Philadelphia. They turned it back around. They lost to DeGrom on Friday. They turned it back around Saturday and Sunday versus a Texas team that's red hot. That didn't happen. So now all of a sudden the Mets are in do or die mode. The Mets need to start winning baseball games. And honestly, if they play 500, they probably are still going to make it, because the Giants went from red hot. Now all of a sudden they're cold again. Diamondbacks are up and down. The Diamondbacks have been a 500 team all year long. The Reds have been a 500 team all year long. The one difference is the Mets keep falling back and falling back and falling back. It's a frustrating team because I'm going to forget the offense for a minute. All right, the offense has had moments of streakiness, moments where they're world beaters, moments where they're not. A lot of that comes from the fact that outside of the big 3, they've had a lot of turnover. Vientos has been hot. Vientos has been cold. Vientos has been hot. Alvarez has been cold. All of a sudden, Alvarez gets hot. He gets hurt. He's back. He's cold again. They've got no production out of center field. It's almost unfair because Series only played 15 games this year. I don't want to see him again. He stinks. Mullins stinks. Taylor wasn't very good. He's on the IL. So center field's a black hole. Brett Beatty is hot. He's cold. He's hot. He's cold. There's a lot of variance, but at the end of the day, they have 3 game-changing offensive players in the lineup. And we saw it from Pete Alonso. Pete Alonso's 1 swing away from winning a baseball game. Juan Soto is 1 swing away from winning a baseball game. I'll live with that. I'll live with the fact that the offense is a little up and down, but still a top 10 offense in the league. What I can't live with is the fact that no one outside of Nolan McLean seems to want to pitch. And I got to give Brandon Sprout credit. Sprout's been phenomenal his first 2 starts. Nobody else wants to pitch a good baseball game. I can't blame Holmes that much because he's at his limit. All right, for a 3.75 ERA and 150-something innings that he's pitched this year, I was signed on the dotted line the second that contract was signed. Manaea can't get out of the 4th inning. Senga's in the minor leagues right now. Peterson, who's been your best pitcher all year, is all of a sudden forgot how to pitch. So the Mets need something from somebody other than a rookie who looks phenomenal, by the way, and in all honesty, has put himself in Rookie of the Year conversations, as insane as that sounds. But Tom, if the Mets make the playoffs by a game or 2 and he comes up and made 7 starts and the Mets won 7 out of 8 starts, he might be a Rookie of the Year with a 1.19 ERA. So
if Gary Sanchez didn't get Rookie of the Year when he hit like 35 home runs in 40 games,
Nolan McLean might be the sole reason the Mets make the playoffs. You understand that? Like, that's how good he's been.
I mean, no, he's a starting pitcher. He's not gonna be the sole reason.
They can't get more than 4 innings out of any other starter. He's the only starter who's got 7 innings every start.
Also, I don't know if there's a rule on it or whatnot. McLean still has to graduate here. We're 37 and 2/3 innings pitch. I don't even know if it makes him eligible for Rookie of the Year.
Again, I don't think he wins it. But he's put himself into the conversation of being one of the most impactful rookies. Anyway, it's so frustrating because when you turn it over to the bullpen blows it. Helsley's been awful. Stanek's awful. I don't want to see him again. Now all of a sudden, Raley, which by the way, I don't want to get on Mendoza. It's not Mendoza's fault. No matter what string Mendoza pulls, he's wrong. But what the deal yesterday, you had Raley in the game, who's a lefty, or was it yesterday or 2 days ago? It was 2 days ago, right?
He pitched both. He actually was good Saturday. He gave up the 2 runs yesterday.
Right, he gave up the 2 runs yesterday. But he put 2 guys on, and then Mendoza pulls him against the lefty for Peterson, who's batting about $170 this year. Why would you pull Raley when Peterson's the batter? Let him get Peterson. He might have gotten out of that. Instead, he goes to the bullpen, and who did he put Rogers in or Stanek or somebody, and they coughed it up immediately, and there goes the lead. Yep. So that was my problem with Mendoza yesterday. It's not on Mendoza, all right, because there's so much that goes wrong every single game that no matter what button he presses, he's wrong. No matter what button he presses, the reactor blows up. But at some point, the mistakes are compounded, and all of a sudden, the manager, whose fault it's not, all of a sudden it becomes his fault when he makes a dumb move like that.
Yeah.
The problems are just compounded because the team can't get out of their own way.
And it's like the fact that these players are playing at extreme levels of poorness. I mean, Cedric Mullins, if he was hitting a $150 as opposed to 0.02 in his last 2 weeks, the Mets might have another couple of wins.
Well, that's the other thing.
At a 6 ERA instead of a 14 as a Met. The Mets might have a couple more.
And that's the other thing. It's like, how can I blame the manager? And even Stearns to an extent. I think when Stearns made the trade for Helsley, everybody was like, that was a phenomenal move.
Pissed.
They got a top reliever in the sport that has never been bad in his major league time. And all of a sudden he can't get out. Mm-hmm. You know, they brought in Taylor Rogers, who's been good, but Rogers has had a couple blow-up games. Tyler Rogers. I'm sorry. Taylor's his brother. They bring in Cedric Mullins, who's been a good pro for 10 years. For 10 years, he's been a good pro. Not a great player, but a decent player. He can't hit his weight right now. What are you supposed to do?
Well, I will throw this out. I know this was a conversation we've been having for about months of what do you do with the starting rotation? How do you hide the flaws? I think at the very minimum, the Mets did the right thing in getting it back to 5. I put up the graphic just before, but realized it was outdated because Sean Manaea is being moved to the bullpen. Yeah. He's going to be piggybacking Clay Holmes on his start days. That's a good start. I think that's a good way to go about that. McLean's locked in for a start. You got to still see what you got out of Tong, but I put a lot of pressure on Tong, Sproat, and McLean. McLean's been answering the bell. Sproat's look good. So for now, that spot of it's looking good. Now for the 5th, unfortunately, you have to trust Peterson to do what he has to do. Like, he's got to get back to that rhythm. And hopefully right now it's just more of like they're going through the woes now. We haven't seen David Peterson's best until the lights are on brightest towards the tail end. But I think at the very minimum, the Mets did the right thing in downsizing back to 5 guys.
Here's the other thing. And Rich, if you bring up that schedule, McLean is due again to pitch on Saturday. The probables are incorrect. Right. Everybody's moved up 1. But McLean is due to pitch on Saturday now. McLean should be starting Friday. And I will tell you why. Because he will be on full rest on Friday. He'll be on 5 days rest with the off day today. You move Tong back the day. McLean can then go again on Wednesday, the 24th. All right. He will not be on 5 days rest by Sunday, the 28th, which is the last day of the season. However, he will be on 3 days rest. So if you needed to get 2 or 3 innings out of McLean with your life on the line in a must-win game on the last day of the season, McLean has that option. As it's currently situated, he would pitch Saturday and then wouldn't pitch again until the 25th on Thursday. The Mets need to change that. Tong should be pushed back a day. McLean needs to go on Friday, and then you go sprout Tong or whatever you want to do. You have to maximize. You got to get 2 full starts out of McLean and the option to pitch a couple innings on Sunday of the 28th if you need that game for your life. He has to pitch. He's your best pitcher. There's no doubt about that. So that's what the Mets need to do that, and they need to do that soon. They need to do that before the game Friday.
I agree.
Yeah. I'm going to ask the chat here. Because it's kind of impressive to see a couple of the rookies for both New York teams do their thing as of late, especially McLean for the New York Mets, as we once highlighted. But if must-win game out of the 2 New York rookie starters, who would you trust with your life on the line? Nolan McLean or Cam Schlittler? Chat, answer away. Schlittler or McLean, and let's try to keep the Yankee or Met bias aside when answering the question. But let's flip it to the Yankees side of the house while the chat is deciding on who to choose between the 2 starters. And Thomas, for the New York Yankees, we got out of the gauntlet and we survived in a big way. 7-5 record in the 12-game span. Yeah, you would have loved to have gotten that last game in Boston, but you also are facing Garrett Crochet, who will be an American League Cy Young Award finalist this year. Crochet has been incredible this year, but even in that game, the Yankees go down 6-0 with Will Warren on the bump, and they didn't allow another run, and they actually made it a game towards the tail end of yesterday's contest. So better ball played by the Yankees. The 2 Tigers games also was just this complete exposure of your very weak bullpen as is. But Tom, your thoughts on this New York Yankees team as it stands?
Yeah, the trademark gauntlet, as of course I trademarked myself. No one else came up with that term. They played 4 teams that'll most likely be in the playoffs, and they won 3 of those series, and you got to feel good about that. They won 2 out of 3. Got 3 of them, lost the one to the Tigers. I think what I really liked about this Red Sox series, though, over the weekend, is they played the playoff baseball, right? They didn't. It feels like a lot of Yankee wins this year come when the pitcher has a tell or something, and they just absolutely slaughter someone. They win by 8 runs, and it's like they had a tip on a pitcher and whatever. They played playoff type games against Boston, tight games that they had to highlight their now improved defense, their improved base running, still hit homers because they're the Yankees. They're going to hit homers, and I know people think you got to just put the ball and play in the playoffs. I think if you look at it, the teams who win in the playoffs hit the most homers. That's you just look at all the teams that win. That's what they do. So the Yankees hitting homers is not a bad thing. But they look good. They look good other than the first inning of what Will Warren put up, and even that got a little funky with some misplays in the field. I feel good, and listen, now they got through that. And now it's either they're in Minnesota. I know it's 0-0 going into the bottom of the 3rd inning right now, but you always feel good against this part of the schedule. They have the easiest remaining schedule in all of Major League Baseball. Division's probably out unless the Blue Jays go on a complete collapse, which I know our boy Boogie's going to say, well, Tom said they were going to collapse. I said they haven't won a meaningful game in over a decade. So we'll see if they can even get out of like the ALDS. Probably not. But it looks like we're going to be hosting the Red Sox. And how do I feel about that? I don't know. Probably not great. I know it looks good after this weekend, but you're going to have to go against Crochet, and Crochet has, the Yankees did hit him a little bit on Sunday, but he's been really good. So I don't feel great about that. And, the Red Sox have had the Yankees number overall this year, even though not this weekend. So I don't know. I'm ready to get my heart broken Going to be supporting the guys. It's just it's going to be epic. It's going to be an epic series, most likely against Boston. Although there's been some shakeups, and we're going to get more into those shakeups a little bit later on in the show, the playoff predictions that we have. So it might not be Boston, probably will be though. That's kind of where I land.
Yeah, we'll talk more about that on the triple play. For Toronto, their remaining schedule, they face Tampa Bay. They're starting a 3-game set now. Actually, Tampa Bay has a 1-0 lead on Toronto. It's a 4-game set at GMS Field. Then they go to the Kansas City, and they end the season at home versus Boston and Tampa Bay. So definitely on paper, tougher schedule that Toronto's facing as opposed to the Yankees. But I do agree. I think it'd be quite the insurmountable finish for the Yankees for them to overtake the American League East this late. I still think
they also have the tiebreaker, so it's essentially at a half game on top of
it's lost. And honestly, it was probably just as lost when the Yankees were playing the Blue Jays in the middle series during the summer, where the Blue Jays were absolutely beating the tar out of the New York Yankees.
It's essentially 4.5 with what 12 to go. So
yes,
it's a big ask.
Yeah,
listen, the Blue Jays are choke artists. You never know.
I just don't think at this point, when you see 4 games out at this rate and you only got 2 weeks left, it's kind of a fait accompli there. For the Yankees' sake, just put yourself in the position to be a home team in the first round of the playoffs. And yes, if they are facing Boston, then so be it. I mean, if you're laying your arms down against Garrett Crochet again last night, following the first inning blow up of Will Warren, the Yankees played well against Crochet. I mean, you put up 3 runs against Garrett Crochet. You just hope that your pitcher on the other side, which in this case would be a Max Fried or Carlos Rodon, is doing what they're supposed to do. And now you're talking about a game that gets into the bullpen. So it is what it is. As long as the Yankees are getting themselves in a position where the home games are in the Bronx, that's really all that matters for that first round. But we'll see. I mean, again, the Yankees play great ball against these teams. As I mentioned 2 weeks ago on this show, on a Bronx Take, they were going into the 12 games against these 4 teams. To me, the barometer is clearly 500. You're below 500 team. You basically answer the critics saying that you can't hang with these teams. You go over 500, yes, you can hang with these teams. And when the Yankees are playing their best baseball, they're getting home runs at the right time. They're getting quality starting pitching. They're getting back end, great effort from the back end of their bullpen. Yeah, they're going to win a lot of baseball games. The problem is they went 2.5 months where they were doing almost none of that. Joe,
who owns the tiebreaker between Yankees and Blue Jays?
The Blue Jays.
Blue Jays.
Blue
that's
Jays.
That's why I said 4.5.
Yeah. So right, the Yankees got clear them by a game.
Yeah, that's
So it's 5. It's 5.
Yeah. And I think, like you said, the Yankees getting the home field, it's really the key here, especially in a 3-game set. You want to be in your own park. Obviously, Yankee hitters love Yankee Stadium. It's the best thing you'd want. And especially because it's looking like it's going to be the Red Sox. Granted, it could change. Red Sox could fall out of it. Someone else could jump up. I would bet my money now the series is probably going to be Yankees Red Sox at Yankee Stadium. If not, it's probably going to be Yankees Red Sox at Fenway. But I'm gonna put an 85-15 favor in the Yankees at Yankee Stadium.
That's gonna be
and like you said, I mean, the big matchups, you're going against Crochet once, but you're probably going to throw a Fried.
That's going to be a toxic series.
That's going to be a toxic series. That's going to be great TV too. And I could already see it. That game, you mentioned it, Rich, that just get to the bullpens on both sides. I could see that game being like a 1-1 game going into the 8th inning. All of a sudden, you're going to those pens, and which pen falls first? I mean, the whole Devin Williams scenario.
I can't think of any.
Be interesting.
Tom, you're gonna probably say the same exact thing I was gonna go. Go for it.
I was gonna say this weekend. I feel like we started to see a little bit of cracks in Chapman. I saw Chapman throw some balls to the backstop. Some things. I saw some things. I had some like fever pitch like memories. I was like sweating. I'm like, oh my god, Chapman's up. And he can't find the strike zone. I don't know. I mean,
but then he blew us away last inning of something.
Did, but
I was going to actually make a Chapman point too. Nothing would be so more poetic if the Yankees walk it off against Aroldis Chapman, advance to the next round. Thank you very much, Chapman, for your
a judge homer off Chapman to go to the next round would feed families. Oh God!
Kidding aside, though, outside of the blemishes Chapman had in the postseason with Houston and Tampa Bay, over the course of a 162 game schedule, when the Yankees had Dellin Betances leading to Aroldis Chapman, that was filth. That was unbelievable. I mean, a lot of people hate that.
He's incredible. He was incredible.
But that was an unbelievable, so looking at what the bullpen's gone through now, but where they once were, even post Mariano, they had some quality arms in the back end of that bullpen. Remember Run DMC with Andrew Miller in the mix? Oh, man, crazy stuff. But from that, the Yankees, they're playing the Minnesota Twins. They got the Baltimore Orioles. I think the biggest thing, Tom, here, when it comes to facing these kind of teams, obviously you want to take care of business, but you don't want to go into it feeling overconfident. Oh, yeah, we just got through, taking 2 out of 3 against Houston, and 2 out of 3 against Toronto, 2 out of 3 against Boston. You still got to take care of business against these teams as well. Because the Orioles, I don't know if everybody's seen, the Orioles would play great baseball.
Orioles are playing better.
Yeah. The Orioles are a team that scares the hell out of me that they're going to get a little bit of revenge now and play a bit of spoiler towards the tail end of this season. And of course, they got the Yankees for 7 more games.
I mean, that's going to be on their mind. That's exactly what they're going to be playing for. I think in games like that, really all these teams, right? We're playing all teams that are not sniffing the playoffs, right? They have no real want to win these games. I think you want to make sure you go up early in them. You don't want to let these teams hang around. You kind of want to just quell it, knock it, especially in that Orioles series, get early leads, win the first couple games, and then the Orioles just kind of, let them pack it in. I think if you let these lesser teams hang around, it's when, and listen, the Yankees are prone to do that. You want to just handle your business against these teams, see what things you can get working, get your rotation set up for how you want it in that wild card series, and just do all your prep work right now. They're messing around with it with shortstop. I mean, we've gone so long without talking about Anthony Volpe, the backup shortstop now. It seems like Caballero he's started for the last 4 or 5 games. He's starting again tonight. If Caballero looks good, I brought it up last week, right? The IKF started all year, and then all of a sudden Peraza started in a playoff game.
Yep.
It seems like the Yankees are trying to get a little bit ahead of that and let Volpe start all year, and maybe Caballero takes the job from him. He looked good in Boston. He's an absolute just terror and a demon on the bases. He's so annoying. He really is that definition of he's on your team, you love him. He is on the other team, you hate him. He is so annoying.
I was a fan of the move. I was a fan of the move when they traded for him, and we were on here for the trade deadline show, and I could not believe they pulled off a trade with Tampa Bay to bring this guy in who was leading the American League in stolen bases, which I think he still is too. If you take both the Yankees and Rays numbers, he's been great. And at this point, look at the last few weeks. Even with a third less at bats, he's got more homers, more RBIs, more hits, more walks than Anthony Volpe has. I mean, what are we doing? This is your guy right here. And as it's a bad look on Volpe and whatever. They were talking about the shoulder thing that he got a cortisone shot. I feel like Joe,
cortisone shot 3 months later.
They are setting up for the Phantom IL stint. I feel like it's coming. They don't want to make the kid look bad. They don't want to send him down to AAA. They don't want to totally bench him. I think
it's no AAA anymore.
But at the same time, if he's not cutting, he's not cutting it. You're in playoff race. If you can't play him,
I don't think they're gonna Phantom IL him. I think they're gonna just have him on the bench. He is the only really other backup shortstop. I mean, I don't think you want Jazz in a pinch to have to go to shortstop.
Ahmed Rosario.
Ahmed Rosario.
Sure. Do you really want Ahmed Rosario playing shortstop at this point?
Can't be much worse than Volpe is.
But I mean, listen, Volpe. When Volpe's right, he is a great defender. Now he's been bad at times this year. But when he's right, he is. I mean, listen, we shit a lot for his hitting and well deserved. But when he's right defensively, he's a very good defensive shortstop.
this is the problem I think that we talked about a couple times here is the Yankees for the last 3 years in the Volpe era have had no other option at shortstop but him. And it's a miracle he hasn't gotten hurt prior to that. But with the labrum tear, he shouldn't have been on the field. It's clearly affected his defense. We know he's not excuse me. We know he's not that bad of a defender. We know the Gold Glove was a Mickey Mouse Gold Glove, but still, he's not that bad of a defender. We're at the point where he can't make routine throws to first base. Mm-hmm. So it goes back to the point, the Yankees have no other options at shortstop. Oh. So what are the Yankees doing that they have no depth chart options to play shortstop? Now they got Jose Gabriel they brought in the offseason. He's now worked his way into the starting role because Volpe's been bad. But if Volpe's hurt, he needs to go on the IL. If he is hurt and it's clearly affected his play, at least defensively, offensively, I don't think it makes a difference. Defensively, it's affected him. Mm-hmm. Put him on the IL. At least you have the conversation. He's not going to be Yankee shortstop anymore, but at least you have the conversation and say, going into spring training, you're like, all right, Volpe wasn't healthy. He had a labrum tear. We fixed that in the offseason. He got some rest. Now he's got a chance to compete for the starting job next year. We all know that Caballero's probably have the advantage over him at that point, but that's what I'm thinking.
I would still listen in a situation where Caballero had to come out of a game, and we're talking just defensively. I would put Volpe out there over Rosario like 10 out of 10 times, and I think that's why he's still in the team.
I want to make one more note, just off of the Caballero Volpe debate here. You see this guy right here, he's heating up. He's getting hot again. And if you have an Aaron Judge investment in the New York Strike Exchange, and I know we're only a week into that out of 3, looking good. So, Tom, credit to you on your patience. But Corey Favs, with the aggressive investment or reinvestment into Aaron Judge, looking good for you as well, sir. Because Aaron Judge, over his last 40 at-bats, hit 350, 5 home runs. That's a 1.225 OPS. So, Aaron Judge getting hot at the right time. But as always, as we always say this time of year, can he stay hot when you go into the next month? That's the biggest question when it comes to Aaron Judge. But right now, looking great for the captain. All righty, let's move on. We're going to move past the Empire Express. We're going to get into Book It and a bunch of other stuff for tonight. But first, let's touch on Instagram. Corey Favs, what's the latest and greatest for the gram?
Yeah, go ahead and follow us at Empire State of Baseball on Instagram. You'll find our archive segments, meme reels, graphics from the show. You could watch the show, even though YouTube's a better platform to view it. You can watch from the gram. So for those watching there now, thank you for tuning in, but please go out to YouTube. And you can also follow us all individually as well. Myself at Corey Favs, Joe at JR Pugs, Rich at Rivera, and Tom at T Wospil. We're at 7,700 followers and growing. So go ahead and give us a follow.
Of all our
Jacob,
social platforms,
I did not say I would start Volpe over Caballero. I said if Caballero had to come out of the game, I would put Volpe in defensively over Rosario. I would not start him over Caballero.
All right. Well, it looks like Caballero's having some trouble today at shortstop. So all this talk about shortstop, and here we are. Twins up 1-0 in this game. All righty. Let's move on to Book It. And we're getting towards the tail end of Took's predictions here. Actually, he's going to go back-to-back weeks with Book It videos. So we're going to start with week number 1 for tonight. So with that said, let's turn it over to Mr. Took.
What's up, BSB crew? Took us back with the Book It pick of the week, and the season's coming down to the end. We got a couple of tight races. I'm headed over to the NL for my Book It pick of the week. Cincinnati versus St. Louis. Cincinnati's fighting for that playoff spot. I think they're going to pull through, keep it within reach, and I think the player to watch is going to be TJ Friedel. What do you guys got? Book it.
So TJ Friedel is the pick. More importantly, Reds over Cardinals. Jesus Christ. Could poor Took get some damn wins, because we're at, what was that record? 11-22.
So Joe and Corey have to be dancing right now. I mean, the Reds are getting swept. The Reds have been eliminated from the playoffs. So good job, guys. You eliminated one pursuer.
If there was ever a time for Took to really just follow his usual path, this is the week to do it. Reds are winning 3-1 at the moment, but it's an early game, and the Reds have been in a lot of high-scoring games lately.
Yeah, I think the Reds are probably going to take 2 out of 3 here. Unfortunately, I agree with Took. But I still, the Reds team leaves a lot to be desired. I don't think they got enough to overtake not only the Mets but now the Giants.
Yeah, absolutely. For the Red, yeah, I mean, I'm taking the Reds over St. Louis. Took wanted to go with a little bit more of a simple pick, but his luck, St. Louis will find a way to win this series, and TJ Friedel will go 0 for 15.
Yeah.
But yeah, with make sure to give Book with Took a follow on Instagram. He does a great job with booking for not only just Disney, but also just Universal Studios, Sands Resorts. So if you have any travel inquiries, if you're looking to go down to Orlando, give Took a follow and give him a holler, because he'll help you out with your booking needs. It hasn't worked out for the baseball picks this year, but as far as the vacation picks, the guy is a perfect 10 out of 10. He's awesome. So make sure to give Took a follow at Book with Took Travel as we're getting towards the tail end. And by the way, I already told Took, I informed him that over the next couple of weeks, when we're getting into the playoff brackets and we're going to start doing those predictions, that we're going to do a Book It playoff bracket as well. So he might not be totally out of it, because if he kills it with a playoff bracket, he's going to be right back in the mix. So he'll erase that 11-22 late in the game. So that's Book It, and that's brought to you by Book with Took Travel. All right. From that, we're going to go to the triple play. Before we do that, let's get over to YouTube, Joe, where we have 520 plus subscribers.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you can view us live on Instagram and X, but YouTube is our preferred platform. Why? We can interact with you, the audience, in the chat live on every show. So go over to YouTube, go to Empire State of Baseball. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe our videos and join the discussion for the Crosstown conversation that we have every single week here. We have over 520 subscribers. We're approaching 530. We just did a giveaway on 500. We're going to do another giveaway when we get to 750. So make sure you subscribe to make sure you don't miss that. Also, check out our other shows that are live on YouTube during the week. On Tuesdays, Sierra Poteet hosts the Clubhouse on Tuesdays at 8 o'clock. So she will be live tomorrow. And then
that's actually I made an announcement earlier today. She actually will not be hosting tomorrow night's show, but every other Tuesday she will be hosting. Yes.
Okay. Every other Tuesday she will be hosting it. And then Wednesday, Keith hosts Uncomfortable Conversations with Keith. Don't forget to like that and check that out at 8 o'clock live on Wednesdays. So we'll enjoy that because the Mets will be playing a baseball game at that time. So we'll get Keith's raw and live reactions to the Mets every Wednesday. So that's our YouTube schedule. Don't forget to check it out and keep yourself informed of all of our shows.
Hector was on top of the announcement. Yeah, we made an announcement on ESPNYY's page today that show will be postponed to next week. So episode 4 that we were looking forward to tomorrow will be next week's edition of the Clubhouse. All right. We're going to turn things over to an old segment, one that we haven't done in a couple years here, but we're in the stretch run. It's an important time of the year for baseball teams to play their very best to, of course, lock down a spot for October. And for, again, just to see who's going to be the players that step up the biggest when these teams need them the most. So, Corey Favs, I credit you for bringing back the triple play idea here in 2025. And as we did a couple of years ago, we're just going to do a quick fill in the blank, three questions. We're going to fill in the blank style answers. We'll go around the room. And I'll start with Thomas, since I haven't heard from Thomas in a while. And we're going to start with this one. Take this around the room, folks. The question, or rather the statement, Tom, finish the sentence. The team currently in the 2025 MLB postseason picture that will just miss the playoffs will be the...
I had a bold prediction at the beginning of the year that the Houston Astros would miss the playoffs. It looked silly just a couple weeks ago. But now it looks like it could be a possibility. So I'm just going to double down and say the Houston Astros will miss the playoffs.
It's interesting that you say Houston. Oh, that was a spoiler. Yeah, it's interesting that you'd say Houston. Considering that mid-season it looked like this team, after a slow start, found it in them again to play Houston Astros baseball. I think towards its tail end, the injury, having an injured Isaac Paredes stinks. They're not getting consistent pitching. Framber Valdez is completely fallen off. So to say the Astros is, I mean, surprising probably the most, but look at what they've been. They've been a shell of themselves. They're not the team that they used to be years ago. So it would not surprise me if the Astros are that squad. But Corey, Favs, same deal. The team currently in the 2025 MLB postseason picture that will just miss the playoffs will be the...
I'm also going to say Astros. And don't get me wrong. I wanted to say Mets. I did. But I think with the Mets, right, you're 2.5 up on the Giants because they have the tiebreaker. So the Giants have to make up that extra game. The Giants and the Diamondbacks, who are next to each other, they're going head-to-head. Reds still have a tough schedule down the stretch. Again, I don't like the way the Mets are playing, but I am going to go Astros. And you look at the Astros schedule this week, they're playing the Texas Rangers. Granted, they're winning 2-0 right now. But if the Rangers find a way to win that series, and then they have to play the hottest team in baseball, Mariners, this coming weekend, I think I agree with Tom here. I'm going to say the Astros.
Joe, the team currently in the 2025 MLB postseason picture that will just miss the playoffs will be the...
I'm good. How about this? I won't say the Astros.
Nobody knows how to finish a sentence.
I'll say the Mariners. I think the Mariners are fraudulent. I think every time the Mariners play a decent team, they fold like a lawn chair. We saw them in New York firsthand fold. The problem I have is when I look at the teams chasing, I don't believe in any of them. And that's my problem right now with the postseason picture. I don't believe in any of them. Texas is going to run out of steam eventually. Half their players are hurt. Half their lineups hurt. They had a guy at 175 in the middle of bat number 3 in the order. So I'll say the Mariners.
I mean, I guess, well, I was going to ask you a question, but that was literally going to be our next question anyway. Right now, in the postseason picture, see, this is... All right, let me do it the right way. The team currently in the 2025 MLB postseason picture that will just miss the playoffs will be the Texas Rangers. I actually think it's going to lock the way it is right now, according to the standings. Texas is just on the outside looking in. Joe, you just said it, and I think that's exactly the point driving home. Losing Nathan Eovaldi sucks. Like that's a guy that if the Rangers still have that guy at the top of their rotation, I feel a little better. Now, credit to Jack Leiter for holding it down towards the tail end of the year, and Jacob deGrom doing Jacob deGrom things. But that starting pitching is the reason why they're in their position right now. But they'd be in a better position if they still had a guy like Nathan Eovaldi right there. So I'm going to say just misses the playoffs, especially on the AL side. Well, obviously on the AL side, it would be Nathan. Well, it would be Nathan Eovaldi's former team, the Texas Rangers. Let's see what the chat says here. Chat's got a few suggestions. They say the Mets. The Mets. That's 2 from this Hector. How about you guys? What do you guys think? The team currently in the postseason picture that's going to miss the playoffs will be the. Let's finish that and find out what's the deal there. Okay. So while the chat's answering that question, let's move on to number 2 of our triple play. And I'm going to start here. I'm going to start here with Joe. Joe, the question is, the team currently not in the 2025 MLB postseason picture that will just make the playoffs will be the...
I don't think it's anybody.
Okay.
I mean, that's
fair
a
answer.
cop-out. But like, take the Giants, for example, right? The Giants have 3 games with Arizona, who's half game behind them. They have 4 games against the Dodgers. Then they got 3 games against St. Louis, who are a game out of them. And then they end with 3 in Colorado. They're going to knock each other off. Who here? I'm looking at the standings. I'm looking at the schedule. Unless Houston falls off and Texas remains hot, I'll put it to you this way. I like Cleveland's ability to make the postseason more than I like Texas's right now.
Okay.
That was be my answer as well.
it.
I'll just jump on that. I was going to say Cleveland is going to be the team. They do have a series left with the Rangers. They do have 6 games left against the Tigers, but at some point the Tigers aren't, might not be playing for as much. And I think Cleveland, with their experience, I could see them sneaking their way into that 6th spot.
And no Scooble.
Corey?
I'm going to say Rangers. And I know I said the Astros were going to be the team that got knocked out. I'm going to say the Rangers. Reason being is right now, unless the Rangers get swept this series by the Astros, then they're done anyway. The Rangers own the tiebreaker versus the Astros. So it's a true 2-game deficit. It's not one of those 3-game deficits because you have to make up the extra tiebreaker game. And then you look at the Rangers' schedule. Okay, you have 3 against the Astros. So let's say they win 2 of 3. All right, that gains you a game. You then have the Marlins. They can go in there and sweep the Marlins. The Twins, ice cold. And then you end with the Guardians. That's going to be a good matchup. And again, that last matchup could be what decides who gets that last seed. So I'm going to say Rangers specifically because they do own that tiebreaker versus Houston, and they have a chance to jump them a game or two not jump them, but gain a game or two this weekend, depending on how this series unfolds.
I'm with Joe and Tom here. I'm also going to say no one. I think the way
I said Cleveland.
I'm sorry.
I mean, I don't know how you're defining out of the picture. I'm saying Cleveland's going to get that last spot.
Oh, right. You said you did say Cleveland. No, that was just me mishearing. No, I got you.
There's really no one's coming from nowhere at this point.
No, 100%. I mean, it literally would be an absolute insurmountable run there from any team. But no, I'm gonna say the standings are going to end up holding the way it is right now. So my answer is just like Joe's. It's no. There's no other team right now. All right, final question here of our triple play, and this is an interesting one. The surprise team of the 2025 MLB postseason will be Joe.
What team is a surprise for the postseason? I'll go with the Astros. They turn around. They got Correa. They put the band back together. The Astros are one of those kinds of teams where the objective is not to do well in the regular season. The objective is to get to the playoffs and let the guys who have proven time and time again that they can beat anybody at any time, that they can do it one last time. That's that. I'll put that. The Astros are going to show everybody they got one more run left in them. That'll be my
surprise team of the 2025 MLB postseason will be?
I'm going to go a little different answer to this one. I'm going to say neither 1 seed makes the CS.
Surprise in the reverse.
Brewers, so I'm saying the Brewers and assuming that the Jays keep the 1 seed, they both get knocked out in the division round.
Okay, so the surprise teams would be the number 1
negative
seeds for not making it further.
Bad surprise for that. Neither make the CS.
I like it. Corey?
Listen, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I'm going to say the New York Mets. And I'm going to say if the New York Mets make the playoffs, what's their biggest weakness right now is the rotation. Everything changes in the playoffs. They only need 3 starters in that first series. You got McLean, you got Sproat. Holmes is going to be piggybacked. If Senga's back, you piggyback. Peterson out of the pen last year. He did in the playoffs. The Mets could completely change how they manage the rotation. The Mets got the bats to compete with any team. The Mets obliterated a couple of these teams they might match up with. If they go into the wild card, get through that, maybe you're playing the Dodgers. And the Mets killed the Dodgers this year. They beat the Brewers already in the playoffs last season. So, I don't even know if they're going to make it, but I said the Astros would be the team to fall out. So I'm going to say the New York Mets can go on a run. I don't think they win it all, but I think they can go on a run should they make it.
All right, Yankee fans, don't kill me. The surprise team of the 2025 MLB postseason will be the Boston Red Sox. I've been on Boston since the very beginning of this year, and actually was the only one here to choose Boston to win a World Series. I don't know what Roman Anthony's timetable is going to be, but if they can get
weeks.
Sorry?
Said 4 to 6 weeks.
4 to 6 weeks. If they can somehow survive those first couple of rounds without him, and I think they have all the artillery where they can, and they can get Roman Anthony back by a championship series round, I would not be surprised if Boston keeps up to Rich's old prediction from early in the year and as a surprise team, not only makes it far into the playoffs, but wins the whole damn thing. But to Tom mentioning the number 1 seeds not making, I doubled down with that. We talked about this weeks ago about Milwaukee. And I still, on September 15th, 2025, don't fully believe in the Milwaukee Brewers. I don't either. MLB had the balls the other day to put up a graphic. Which starting rotation would you take between these 4 and these 4? It was the Brewers sending Mizorowski and Woodruff and Peralta and Kuhn Priester. And here's the Dodgers with Yamamoto, Glasnow, Snell, and Ohtani. Are we fucking kidding people?
No.
The teams played great baseball in the regular season. Credit to them. Milwaukee will not make it past the first round. I do not believe in this team.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think, the interesting thing is you look up and down the Milwaukee team, they're a pesky team. There's no offensive player that scares you, right? Like there's no offense. Every team in the playoffs has an offensive player you don't want to see. Except for the Milwaukee Brewers, like Yelich is a good player, but you can pitch to Yelich. So yeah, I think that's interesting. I also, to Corey's point with the Mets, I think if the Mets made the postseason, if everything currently as is, they would get the Dodgers for 3 games in the first. And I will tell you this much: as much as the Dodgers have an advantage on the pitching line, guess what? For 3 games, I'll take my chances with the Dodgers. For 3 games, I will take for 7 games, I don't think the Mets can beat the Dodgers. For 3 games, the Mets can absolutely beat the Dodgers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. I think that your best chance of getting one of these top teams is you get them in the 3 or 5. Because once you get to 7, it's going to be tough. Unless you're the Milwaukee Brewers. Because again, I don't believe in the fucking Milwaukee Brewers. Get them for 7. I don't give a shit. All righty, let's get to X, and then we're going to start wrapping things up with our game. Make sure to give us a follow on X at ESP Podcast, 3,300 followers and counting. Give our subsidiaries a follow at ESPNYM. That's these guys over there. At ESPNY, that's these guys right here. I just pointed myself twice. I don't know how I did that. That's him, that's me, and then that's like 3 other people that are associated with a show called The Bronx Take. Bronx Take's a cool show. Got to check it out. It's Monday through Thursday, hosted by me, Boogie, Chris, and Sierra, all picking up different times, different days throughout the week, all different segments, 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern time, Monday through Thursday. And then, of course, to go along with our schedule here of the SB network, as I'm calling it, we got Queens Boulevard on Thursdays, hosted by Keith, and an extra innings hosted by me once again, and the rest of the ESB guys, Fridays at 2 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. But let's start wrapping things up, and we always wrap things up with our game. And look at the standings real quick. And Joe, look at Joe. 28 points for Joe. Tom and Corey, very close at 2 and 3. And I'm there, right there with them at 4. So it's looking pretty good for Joe, unless there's a core curriculum that just swings momentum entirely for one of the 3 guys from 2 to 4 here. But today's game is defining moment. And let's throw it to the Mets end here, Joe, because you have today's DM.
Yes. So defining moment, September 26, 2015, Lucas Duda would launch a grand slam to give his starting pitcher and the New York Mets an early 4-0 lead. In the top of the 9th inning, New York would pad the lead to 10-2 thanks to a 3-run homer blasted by this player. J-Riz Familia would come on to record the final 3 outs, which include the game-ending strikeout of this Cincinnati player to secure New York's first NL East division title since 2006.
Joey
Matt
Votto,
Harvey.
Cincinnati.
Whoa. What? Matt Harvey is correct.
All right. I had the
Joey
Harvey. I don't know
Votto.
what, Tom, what'd you say?
I said Joey Votto for the guy who got struck out.
No, incorrect. Strike 1.
God, I was gonna say Matt Harvey first, but I was like,
2015.
I'm going to say 3-run home run by the Grandy man.
Incorrect.
3-run home run by Kirk Neuenweiss.
Incorrect. I believe Granderson did hit a home run in this game, but it was not the 3-run blast that put him up 10-2.
So Harvey's the easy answer.
Yeah.
There's usually a medium and a hard.
They're not all of them. Once they're revealed, all of them are not going to be difficult.
The strikeout of Jay Bruce to secure.
Jay Bruce is correct.
Let's go. Former Met, former Yankee, Jay Bruce.
I'm actually shocked Corey did not get that one.
I didn't remember. I mean, I knew he was on the team. Just David Wright, home run.
David Wright is correct.
There it is.
I was going to say
Corey
this.
Favs.
There you go.
All right, so 2 points for Corey Favs there, and as we always like to do with this bit, we like to also throw to the highlight. But this clinched the National League East Division for the New York Mets, Joe.
Hopefully, it's a 10-year anniversary.
A lot of Met fans there.
So let's pull up some of the. I think I have like about the highlight package, and there is Lucas Duda, the big brawny lefty, and he's gonna smash this over the right field fence. Who was that pitching for? Damn, who the hell threw that ball? That looked like he threw that ball at 50 miles an hour.
No,
Lucas Duda, he crushed it.
That hat. No. Oh no, Lamb.
Lamb. Well, it's Curtis Granderson. This is also it was a guess here.
You were for all this. It was 88 miles an hour.
He did hit a homer in the game, so whoever threw out the Granderson guess, Tucker Barnhart.
Good guess. Good guess.
So solid guess there. And I was kind of David was a part of the 2015 run. So I wasn't even thinking about Dave Wright, but they put a pounding here on these Cincinnati Reds. You love to secure a division title, just absolutely destroying a team.
Going away, yeah.
Yep.
It was a great game. Harvey pitched. It was a prep for the postseason. He really wanted to start the game. So it was a big thing.
Daniel Murphy getting started before that epic 2015 run. Homer over the was that a catch?
That was a robbery.
Oh, what a play!
That was a great play.
Unbelievable play. But let's see a little bit of Matt Harvey. And guys, we saw a bit of Matt Harvey and a few of these guys this past weekend at the alumni game. What were your thoughts on the alumni game this weekend?
That was my favorite part of Saturday, was getting to see all those guys play a couple innings. It was really cool.
Yeah, it was.
How long is this highlight package?
It was a cool twist on the typical old timers game and stuff. I thought it was just a cool thing. Have everybody there.
Yeah.
The Mets never win. There's the right home run. That's a bomb. Fit in for the captain to do that too. So it was nice. But the Mets, I've noticed anytime the Mets have an alumni game, a number retirement, the Mets never win the game.
There's Jay Bruce.
God.
And there's Jay Bruce.
Strike three. Former Yankee and Met great Jay Bruce goes down to Jerry's Familia. And the Mets were popping the champagne that night in Cincinnati, clinching the National League East Division. All right, let's move on to the Yankee side of defining moment. And I have tonight's defining moment. No silhouette pictures, no need for it. So we got this moment. The Yankees are playing the Twins tonight, but they play the Minnesota Twins in the 2017 AL wildcard game as well. Down 3-0 in the first inning. Didi Gregorius would hit a 3-run home run off this Minnesota Twins pitcher to tie the game. In the next inning, a Yankees player homered, which would be his first of his postseason career, to give New York the lead. Minnesota would then tie the game, but New York retook and padded the lead by another 4 runs. The winning pitcher, blank, threw 3 1/3 innings pitch in relief, and New York would advance to the ALDS. As Yankee fans remember, Luis Severino knocked out of that game early.
Irvin Santana was the Twins pitcher.
That is correct.
Oh, I couldn't think of the name. I remember that. I remember watching. I was going
to say Barrios.
Barrios could get in the game, but he was not the starting
pitcher. Came in as Jay Happ.
Not Jay Happ.
Not Jay Happ.
Not Jay.
Strike for Tom. Strike for Tom. Point for Tom. Nothing for Corey or Joe yet.
In the next inning, blank for the
3 innings.
Is that Edwin Encarnacion?
Great guess, but not Edwin Encarnacion.
Oh,
You're about a year early on our Encarnacion, I think.
2 years. I was at the game. He hit the home run against the Twins in the.
I remember he did something. Yeah.
It was 2019.
Was it Aaron Judge?
Judge homered in the game. It wasn't this player that homered.
Was it Gary Sanchez?
No, incorrect. Not Gary Sanchez either.
I'm happy I didn't step on that. I felt like that was such a trap, and I'm happy I.
And that's the thing, Joe. The tricky part is Judge did hit his first homer of his postseason career in this game. He just did not hit it the following inning after Didi.
Yeah.
So couple of
I'll say Glaber hit the homer.
First career postseason homers, huh?
Glaber,
not Glaber Torres.
I know.
No, two
I
Ks
know
for
who
Corey,
Keith-
two Ks for Thomas, one for Joe.
I didn't really have to think about it.
Who's a reliever then?
Where's my clock?
Betances
God,
never
I know.
threw 3 innings.
I know
Hap was
who
a
the
good
reliever
guess.
is. I really thought it was Hap.
2 for Tom,
Someone
2 for
get
Corey,
mine.
1 for Joe. And 1 point for Tom
Oh,
here.
God, I know who the reliever was.
We're looking for the Yankee offensive player that homered and the Yankee pitcher that got the win in relief that game.
Oh,
Tell you
God.
that. First postseason homer of his career, and we mentioned Judge.
I mean,
Was it Glaber?
I already said Glaber.
Joe said Tom said Glaber
Oh.
already, Joe, and I'm deducting you.
Yeah.
All right, dock me.
I'm docking
Oh,
you. 2
God.
Ks across the board for everybody.
Man, I know who the pitcher is. I can't think of it.
Look at this. Look at these pondering gentlemen.
Severino gets absolutely lit up the first.
Mm-hmm. Gets pulled out of
Yeah,
the first.
Who's
Yeah.
in that bullpen?
I have.
All right.
I'll be
I don't know
one-
the pitcher.
Oh, actually,
I'm gonna say Chase Headley, hitter.
Not Chase Headley.
Okay.
Part of that postseason.
Rich, can you say that the guy who got the win, was he a starter or a reliever?
He was a reliever.
David Robertson.
It is David Robertson. That is correct.
Ooh.
It is David.
Yeah,
Robertson.
kind of. Yeah.
So
okay.
it's not any of the kids who hit the homer.
Let's see. Oh, Greg Bird.
It is not Greg Bird. Tom has K'd out, but got 2 points.
So
Do I have one more on my kid?
You're K'd, Corey.
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh.
So it's just me.
No, he's
It's just
not
you.
there yet.
I mean, who else is on that team? We mentioned catcher, second base, shortstop is already there. Judge is
No one
already.
in
I
the
don't
chat
think the other
guessed
guy
it
was
either,
there yet.
which is
I'm opening the chat now. I don't see. I see a guess, but
The only one left that I know started is I would find it amazing if he hit his first home. He couldn't have. He was a Yankee for 10 years.
oh,
Was it Brett Gardner?
I know.
it is. It's Brett Gardner. It was his first career
Brett
postseason
Gardner?
home run. Yeah. I could not believe it when I
Wow.
saw it. And
Oh.
when I was pulling it together, I was like, all right, well, I can go with it, but I was like, let me see. I'm just curious how many Brett Gardner had 3 career postseason home runs. This was his first
That's crazy.
which is insane to think about. But yes, you are correct. So good
I
job.
just process of elimination. We're out of
Well,
players. I'm like,
well, yeah.
I was gonna say. Then I was thinking, was Hicks there yet? But I didn't think Hicks was there
Hicks
yet.
was
and-
there. Hicks was
Yeah,
there.
okay.
Hicks
That was gonna be my.
Yeah.
If I had another guess, that's what it would have been.
Hicks would have been a great guess as well. Again, the Judge guess is actually insane because he did hit his first career home run of the postseason in that game. It just
God,
did not
this-
happen in the inning
this-
after. So
this-
Didi Flores Stadium goes
I
nuts.
think this is the loudest the new stadium's ever been. Even
Absolutely.
louder than the 09 run. That
It-
homer is incredible.
Stadium goes absolutely bonkers for this one because you just thought this team is dead to. And again, this is the wild card game, so it's a 1-game
It's a
It's a
elimination.
1-game wild card.
Yeah.
3-0, you're done. And they came back instantaneously to bring the Yankees back in. And Didi with the biggest, one of the biggest home runs in his postseason career. He also had a grand slam. I think it was in the same postseason or a couple postseasons later, but it was awesome. And here's
It's the
Gardner.
same game as the Edwin. I was at the game when Didi hit the other homer.
little pimp job by Brett Gardner.
He knew it, man. He knew that he cleared it there. And there's Brett's, unbelievably enough, his first career postseason home run right
Wow.
there. Brett Gardner, the final guess here. Good for you, Joe. to get Brett Gardner correctly.
I remember watching
And if
this
we
game.
fast forward up a little bit, there's another guy who hits his first career home run, and look at the young Aaron Judge. Laser shot that just gets over the left field fence. Yankees, of course, go on to win 8-4. Your final score for the Yanks to move on into the 2017 playoffs, where they would eventually get knocked out by Houston. That was good times. Good times.
It's
But a
such
fun team,
that-
Tom.
It's such a shame that, like, this. I mean, obviously with Houston cheating and everything, but the 17 or then the 19 team don't win a World Series. It really sucks that neither of them got it.
Hey, Tom, Michael K just used the term gauntlet describing the 12 games. You might need to have a word with the K-Ster.
I might need to, file some paperwork with a lawyer and sue the
Crazy.
K-Ster. I
This is
can't
crazy
have
stuff.
that. I invented the term gauntlet. So
Invented it.
2-0
some
sorry, 2-0
people in
Twins.
this podcast that did.
2-0 Twins here. The Yankees have a runner at second, and John Carlos Stanton's up in the place, but Semyon Wood Richardson's looked great all night. But that's going to be it for our night here on Empire State of Baseball. Again, make sure to check out Uncomfortable Conversations this Wednesday, episode number 3. Keith will be live here on X, Instagram, and YouTube. We won't be back for the clubhouse until next Tuesday. And in between those 2 episodes, we'll be back for number 141 of Empire State of Baseball, Monday, September the 22nd. So make sure to come back for more stretch run fun as we are on the road to completing the Major League Baseball's 2025 season. All right, boys, let's finish it off with last licks. Tom, Joe, Corey for the wrap. And again, thank you, everybody. I saw there's 90 plus in the building. Shout out to you all. I know it's tough with Monday Night Football back, but baseball's better. Tom, take it away.
Yeah, Yankees in a tough go here, coming off of, again, the trademark gauntlet, and they're gonna probably have a little bit of a tough start, or they have a tough start going on in Minnesota. Hopefully they wake up though. Got to keep winning games.
Yeah, make or break week for the Mets. So we'll see. As far as the Jets concerned, I have no hope. And if you had hope, you deserve to be hit over the head with a rock.
Listen, let's go Cardinals. They just took a 4-3 lead over the Reds. Giants and Diamondbacks are playing each other, so I just hope they crash and burn.
Tough, baby.
Let's do it. So, all right. Well, hopefully this time next week, Met fans are in a better mood and Yankee fans are still in a good mood. But until then, take care.